Hello, everyone, and welcome to A1 to C2 English Listening Channel. I am Chuck, and this channel is made for English learners. Every video here is made to help you listen slow and word by word English and understand. Today's video is spoken slowly and clearly. It is great for A1, A2, and B1 learners. So listen carefully, repeat if you need, and enjoy the journey. Every minute you listen helps you improve. Before we start, don't forget to like this video if you find it helpful. And if you subscribe to the channel, it's more better. Now, let's begin today's topic. Today, we will talk about the coldest places on Earth. These places are very, very cold, colder than your freezer at home. In some of them, it is winter all year. Snow is everywhere. The wind is strong. The air is freezing. In these places, water turns to ice in seconds. You can't go outside without warm clothes. Sometimes it is so cold that your breath turns into ice. People live in some of these cold places, but life is very hard there. In other places, no one lives. Only scientists visit for short times. We will learn where these places are, how cold they get, and how people live there. So, get ready. Put on your warm jacket and come with me on a trip to the coldest parts of the world. Let's begin. First of all, let's talk about the word cold. Cold means something is not warm. When you feel cold, you want a jacket, a blanket, or hot tea. But how cold is cold? Let's look at temperature. We use a scale called Celsius. 0 degrees Celsius is when water freezes. That means water turns into ice. If the temperature is below 0, it is freezing. You can see your breath in the air. You can slip on ice. Your fingers and nose feel very cold. At minus 10 degrees Celsius, you need a heavy coat and gloves. At minus 20 degrees Celsius, it is hard to stay outside for long. At minus 30 degrees Celsius or colder, your skin can freeze very fast. That is dangerous. In some places on Earth, the temperature goes below minus 50 degrees. That is super cold. It is much colder than a freezer. If you throw hot water in the air, it turns to snow. Even your eyelashes can freeze. So, when we say coldest places on Earth, we mean places where it is always below 0, places where snow never melts, places where the air hurts your face. These are the places we are going to explore in this video. Let's see where they are and how people live in such cold. Now, let's talk about the coldest place on Earth. It is called Antarctica. Antarctica is not a country. It is a huge continent at the bottom of the Earth. It is covered with ice and snow everywhere, all the time. Antarctica is bigger than Europe and almost twice as big as Australia, but no one lives there all the time. Only scientists live there, and only for a few months. They come to study the weather, the ice, and animals like penguins. In Antarctica, it is very cold. The sun does not shine in winter for many months. There is no night in summer and no day in winter. The wind is very strong and fast. The temperature can go below 80 degrees. That is colder than anywhere else on the planet. The coldest temperature ever recorded on Earth was in Antarctica. It was 89.2 degrees at a place called Vostok Station in 1983. That is almost 90 degrees below zero. It is hard to imagine this kind of cold. Even in summer, the temperature is very low. It might be 20 degrees or 30 degrees in the warm season. There are no trees, no grass, and no people living there full time. There are also no cities or towns in Antarctica, only research stations where scientists live and work. They come from countries like Russia, the USA, China, and others. Antarctica is also the driest place on Earth. It does not rain or snow much, but the snow stays forever, so it looks white and icy all the time. Antarctica is the king of cold. It is the coldest, driest, and windiest continent in the world. And now, let's visit one special place inside Antarctica, Vostok Station. Vostok Station is a research base in Antarctica. It is one of the coldest places on Earth. It was built by Russian scientists in the 1950s. They come here to study the ice and the weather. Vostok Station is not near the sea. It is in the middle of the continent, far from everything. It is very high, about 3,500 meters above sea level. Because of this, the air is very thin and very cold. In 1983, scientists at Vostok Station recorded the lowest temperature ever seen on Earth, 89.2 degrees. That's almost 90 degrees below zero. This is the coldest natural temperature ever measured. At Vostok, it is freezing all the time. Even in summer, it stays around 30 degrees or colder. In winter, it goes much lower. Sometimes people don't go outside at all for days. The wind is strong and the snow never melts. The sun disappears for many weeks in winter. It is dark, cold, and quiet. Scientists who live here wear thick clothes, many layers. They have special boots, gloves, and masks. If you go outside without protection, your skin can freeze in minutes. They live in buildings with heaters. They eat warm food and drink hot tea. They work on computers, take ice samples, and do science experiments. Why do they come here? Because the ice is very old, over 400,000 years. It helps scientists learn about the past. They can study how the climate changed over time. Living at Vostok Station is not easy. There are no shops, no trees, and no animals, except some birds in summer. But the scientists are strong and smart. They help us understand the Earth better. Vostok Station is like a freezer, the coldest freezer on Earth. Now, let's visit another very cold place in Antarctica. It is called Dome Fuji. Dome Fuji is a high, flat area in East Antarctica. It is on top of a big dome of ice, like a soft hill made of snow. Dome Fuji is one of the highest places in Antarctica. It is about 3,800 meters above sea level. That is very high, like a small mountain. And because it is so high, it is also very cold. In 2010, a satellite in space looked at Dome Fuji. It found a place nearby where the temperature was 93.2 degrees. That is the coldest temperature ever seen from space. It is colder than dry ice. Imagine this. If you go outside in this temperature, your breath turns to ice. hot water turns into snow in the air. If your skin is not covered, it can freeze in seconds. You can get frostbite very quickly. Frostbite means your skin gets frozen and damaged. Nobody lives in Dome Fuji all year. There is a small Japanese research station there. It is called Dome Fuji Station. Scientists from Japan come here for short trips. They study the ice, the snow, and the weather. They also take ice cores, long pieces of ice from deep under the ground. Why is the ice important? Because it is very old, maybe more than 700,000 years old. The ice shows what the air was like in the past. It helps us learn about Earth's climate history. Like Vostok Station, Dome Fuji is very quiet. No trees, no animals, no sounds, just wind and snow. The sun disappears in winter, and it never gets warm. It is always below freezing, even in summer. Life at Dome Fuji is not easy, but it is an amazing place for science. It is one of the coldest, highest, and quietest places on Earth. Now, let's leave Antarctica and travel north to Greenland. Greenland is the world's biggest island. It is in the north part of the world, near the North Pole. It is covered with ice and snow, just like Antarctica. Most of Greenland is white, full of glaciers and ice sheets. A glacier is a big, slow-moving river of ice. An ice sheet is a huge area of thick ice that covers the land. Greenland is very cold, especially in winter. The coldest temperature ever recorded there was 66 degrees Celsius. That's colder than most freezers. Many people live along the coast, near the sea, but the middle of Greenland is empty. It's too cold and too icy for towns or cities. Greenland's winters are long and dark. For many months the sun does not rise. The wind is strong and snowstorms are common. People stay indoors to stay warm and safe. In summer, the sun shines all day and night, but the air is still cold. Ice and snow don't melt easily in Greenland. Greenland is also home to Inuit people. They have lived there for a long time. They know how to live in the cold. They use warm clothes, strong houses, and snowmobiles. Many houses in Greenland are small and colorful. They are built strong to stay warm in the snow. People eat fish, meat, and hot soups to stay healthy. In the middle of Greenland, there are no towns. Only scientists go there for short times. They study the ice to learn about Earth's climate. Greenland is quiet, cold, and full of snow. It is one of the coldest places in the northern hemisphere. Now we go to a very special place, Oymyakon. Oymyakon is in Russia, in a region called Siberia. It is the coldest place in the world where people live all year. In 1933, the temperature in Oymyakon dropped to 67.7 degrees Celsius. That is the coldest temperature ever recorded in a town. It is colder than the North Pole. Oymyakon is not a big city. It is a small village in the mountains. Only a few hundred people live there. In winter, Oymyakon is freezing. The air is full of ice. Water freezes fast. Cars stop working if you turn them off. People must leave their engines running all day, even when parked. If not, the engine may freeze and stop working. The days are very short in winter. Sometimes the sun does not rise at all, and when it does, it gives no heat, Children still go to school, even when it's 50 degrees. Only when it's colder than 52 degrees, schools may close. How do people live here? They wear thick clothes, many layers. They wear fur hats, wool socks, and big boots. They eat hot food, like soup and meat, to stay warm. Houses have strong heaters. Fires and stoves burn all day in winter. There is no indoor plumbing in some homes. Pipes can freeze, so people use outside toilets. Despite the cold, people love their home. They enjoy the quiet and the beauty of the snowy land. And they are proud to live in the world's coldest village. Oymyakon is a true test of human strength. It shows us that people can live even in the most extreme cold. Now, let's meet Oymyakon's icy neighbor, Verkhoyansk. Verkhoyansk is also in Siberia, in the north of Russia. It is one of the coldest towns on Earth. The coldest temperature recorded here was 67.8 degrees C. This is just 0.1 degree colder than Oymyakon. Because of this, both towns say, "We are the coldest." Verkhoyansk is small. Only about 1,000 people live there. They are used to freezing winters and snow everywhere. In winter, it's always dark and cold. There is snow on the ground for many months. The rivers freeze and the trees are covered with ice. People wear heavy coats, big boots, and thick gloves. Cars don't start easily, so people must keep them warm. Sometimes, the only way to stay safe is to stay inside. Verkhoyansk is near the Arctic Circle. That means it has very dark winters and very bright summers. In summer, the sun does not set for weeks, but even then, it is not warm, maybe 10 degrees or 15 degrees. Life in Verkhoyansk is quiet and slow. There are no big roads or big stores. People fish, hunt, and keep animals. They eat meat, bread, and warm soups to stay healthy. There is a small school, a shop, and wooden houses. The homes are built to keep heat inside. Families use firewood and heaters to stay warm. The people here are strong. They know how to live in cold weather. They help each other, and they love their land. Verkhoyansk shows us that people can live even in hard places. Snow, ice, and wind cannot stop life here. Let's now visit Norilsk. It is not a small village. It is a city. Over 170,000 people live there. It is one of the biggest cities in the Arctic Circle. Norilsk is in Siberia, in the far north of Russia. It is one of the coldest large cities in the world. In winter, the temperature often goes below 30 degrees, and sometimes it reaches 50 degrees. Snow covers the ground for most of the year. The wind is strong, and the sun disappears in winter. For 45 days in winter, the sun does not rise. This is called the polar night. It is dark all day and all night. People use bright lights in their homes and streets. In summer, there is the opposite, the midnight sun. The sun stays in the sky for 2 months without setting. But even in summer, it is not hot. It may only reach 10 to 15 degrees. Norilsk is also known for mining. There are many factories here. The city has a lot of nickel and other metals underground. People come here to work. They build strong buildings to fight the cold. Most homes have heaters and thick walls. Cars are kept inside garages or warmed with special machines. The streets are full of snow in winter. Snowplows clean the roads every day. Children go to school even in freezing weather. People dress in warm clothes, jackets, boots, gloves, and scarves. They eat heavy, warm food to stay strong. Hot tea and soup are very popular. Even with the cold and darkness, people live, work, and raise families here. Norilsk shows us that cities can survive in the deep Arctic. Now, let's travel to Canada, a cold country in North America. There is a small village called Snag in the Yukon region. Snag is known for having the coldest temperature in all of North America. In 1947, the temperature in Snag dropped to 63 degrees. That is colder than the North Pole. It was so cold that people's breath made a whistling sound in the air. Snag is a tiny place. Very few people live there now. Long ago, it was a stop for planes and weather scientists. The area around Snag is full of forests and snow. In winter, it is dark and icy. The days are short and the nights are long. Sometimes the sun rises for only a few hours. In this cold, everything freezes. Cars don't start. Pipes can break. Even animals hide to stay warm. People in the Yukon region wear thick fur coats. They build homes with strong heaters. They eat hot meals like stew and meat to stay healthy. Even though Snag is small and quiet, it is famous for being the coldest place ever recorded in Canada. Next, let's go to Alaska, to a town where people live in long darkness and snow. Barrow. Barrow is a town in the far north of Alaska, USA. Its native name is Utqiagvik, Utqiagvik. It is one of the northernmost towns in the world. In winter, Barrow is very cold and very dark. From November to January, the sun does not rise at all. This is called the polar night. It stays dark all day and all night for more than 60 days. The temperature often goes below 40 degrees Celsius. Strong winds make it feel even colder. The ocean near Barrow freezes. Snow covers the land, but people still live there. Many are Inuit, native people who know how to live in the Arctic. They wear warm clothes made for snow and ice. They hunt for whales, seals, and fish. Homes in Barrow are built above the ground. Why? Because the ground is frozen all year. This is called permafrost. If you build underground, it melts the ice and breaks the house. People go to school, work, and shop, just like in other towns. They use snowmobiles to travel. They drink hot drinks and eat warm foods every day. Barrow is cold, dark, and windy, but it is full of life. The people are strong and proud to live in this unique frozen land. Now, let's talk about why are these places so cold? We've talked about many cold places, Antarctica, Greenland, Siberia, Alaska, and more. But why are these places so cold? Let's look at 3 big reasons. 1, they are close to the poles. Most of the coldest places are near the North Pole or the South Pole. These parts of the Earth do not get much sunlight. The sun is low in the sky, even in summer. In winter, the sun may not rise at all. Less sunlight means less heat, and that means cold weather. 2. The sun's heat is weak even when the sun shines. The heat is not strong near the poles. The sun's light hits the earth at an angle there. It spreads out over a big area, so it doesn't warm the ground very well. In places near the equator, the sun shines straight down. That's why it's hot. But near the poles, the sun is weak and far away. 3. Snow and ice reflect heat. White snow and ice reflect sunlight back into the sky. This means the ground does not keep the heat. In warmer places, the land and water absorb the heat and stay warm. But in cold places, snow and ice reflect the heat, so everything stays frozen. There are also other reasons. High places like mountains are colder. The air is thinner and cooler high up. Cold air sinks and stays in valleys. This can make small towns like Oymyakon super cold. Cold winds come from the ocean or ice fields and make places feel even colder. So, in short, the sun is weak near the poles. There is less light. Snow reflects the heat, and the land stays cold for many, many months. Well done. You just listened to a full English lesson with icy places of the earth. That's a big step in your learning journey. You trained your ears, you learned new words, and most important, you understood more English today than yesterday. If you can watch this video again, it is better. You will understand even more. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and maybe drop a comment so you never miss a lesson like this. Your English is getting better. Keep going. Thanks for learning with me today. Take care and see you in the next video.